Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I'm coming back today to continue to speak about philosophy. Philosophy is the love of wisdom. For what we seek is wisdom to increase the quality of our life. And I'm just going to also speak briefly about philology. Philology is different. It's when we study the philosophy of the philosophers. It's about studying the books. And once we draw in the wisdom, it becomes philosophy. For the philosophical ideas, the most important philosophical ideas is to understand that silence is the greatest prophet. It all can be found within silence. In the Taoism, the Lao Tzu, the master of wisdom, talks about non-action, action by non-action in perfect harmony with the great nature. From within this stand, it's also yoga, becoming one in the harmony with the universe. It's about aligning with the earth, aligning with the universe, and aligning with the Tao. So action and non-action are complementary, but it is within the silence, within the non-action, that all can be found, and it's very, very powerful. It's accessible to all. It doesn't mean just doing nothing will take you there, but it's about tuning in and focusing on tuning in to your source, to your creator, to invoke the power of creator, and through that, it's like I was saying, the power of prayer is always handled on the earth. But when you pray, you want to turn your prayer to the source, to God. For if you are Judaic, you will turn it to Yahweh or Adonai, or if you're Christian, you will turn it to the universal Father. If you're Muslim, you will turn it to Allah. If you're Hinduist, you will turn it to Krishna. But in a sense, it is all one. It is the same. It is the intention to turn our thoughts to the source. And for that, it was something was explained that, in a sense, technically speaking, we should not turn our thoughts to the Paradise Father. We should turn our thoughts to the Paradise Father, but we should not turn our prayer, because when we pray, we're asking something, and if we're asking something, we should ask the Eternal Son, and then together with the Father, they'll find a way to express it through the Spirit. But for the Father, should only be worshipped. We shouldn't come to God, the Father, to ask Him for anything. Once we first we want to find the Spirit, and then we find the Son, and then once we're ready, there is no more anything to ask. We'll be free to have this loving relationship with the Father. Once we will find fulfillment before we can actually find this first source on paradise. But I wanted to just thought those things I thought were interesting to discuss. I wanted to say that we are the difference between the Christ and man is that the Christ loved God more and He loved humanity more. But we all have this possibility to unfold, to develop this divine love through unconditional love and forgiveness for within ourselves. And for when I'm saying that, I am the Christ. For you are the Christ as well. For it is the collective Christ that is awakening. And so it is your own Christ self it has to align with Sananda Kumara, which is the name that's been given to the Christ after he ascended as the commander of all galactic armies and all the company of heaven. Which is also it is the cosmic Christ attainment. It is the future Buddha. So we can always connect also to that through Maitreya, the master Maitreya. His philosophy is about ecstatic laugh and pleasure and joy all the time without any disturbance. He was the master guide of Amitabha Buddha, of Sananda, of Gautama Buddhas. And but to access Maitreya, it's the preferred frequency where I reside the most in the pink light frequency and the ruby light frequency. For those masters are always available. And we're also in the physical realm, much closer to us, probably, maybe, although all is one. So as long as we think of someone, those higher consciousness are here, is to always allow ourselves to be surrounded with fairies, to call on when we're close to nature. For the fairies are connected to the tree spirits and other elementals. They're like little light beings with wings, and they're light beings, the feminine entities. And there is a fairy queen that they live in communities. There's a lot of winds to them. I wanted to speak briefly about Epicure. Epicure is a philosopher from the 3rd century BC. Maybe what I'm saying is already like common. Of course, what I'm saying is common knowledge already. But to be Epicurean is there's many values within the philosophy of Epicure. For he wrote 300 books, but they all got destroyed. We know because some other people commented on them, but none of them survive. It would be interesting one day to find some of those books that have been hidden, maybe in some caves or whatever. But we only know his philosophy from 3 letters. And he's talking about moderation in all ways, and he put friendship at the center of human. He said the friendship was the most important of all relationship because it's what creates the bond, and his philosophy was about the pursuit of happiness. Yet he was opposed at this time with the Stoic, with Zénon de Critión, Zénon de Critión. I think I wrote it down, but I'm not even sure. It's like, but because the Stoic believed in providence, that God could intervene within human life, when Epicure was more Aristotelian. He did not believe in that. Yet there is he also was believing that in order to be happy you need to stay hidden. So he lived in a garden. It's like in self, he grew his vegetables and so on. And so, but Epicure is good because it teaches us to stay in moderation. I don't know why when I felt like speaking about Epicure. And sometimes as a Pisces, but we all have that, it's like I have two energies going in 2 opposing directions. 2 fish that going in 2 different directions. Yesterday I wanted to go this way. Spirit says no, you will have to go that way, and I still went this way, and I regret it. No big deal, but I said Spirit was right, so I learned the lessons. It's like you have to determine when you have those energies that go in different directions, which one is the strongest, which one feels the wisest, because those energies are not negative or positive. They're just going in different directions, and it's about integrating this divine masculine and divine feminine that operate differently within ourselves. I forgot to talk about all this in the French video. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I wanted to say that in politics, there's a lot of women, wants to integrate in politics that were just as good as men. But I do believe they may be better than men because they're more sensitive in majority. They're more compassionate, and sometimes they're even more practical. Because right now, the women have been giving the power of the love, the heart, but they're completely disconnected from their power center, the home, the family. And man is connected to the power center, but is misusing a little bit the power of the light. So if we return to men, to the to the holding the power of love and family and to be the strong core of that which is essential in the heart, and give back the power to women, the power of the light and society. For Jupiter and Venus are both matriarchal societies. They are very advanced civilization. On Venus, it is the goddess of Venus that is the central intelligence that governs the planet, and her sons. Sanat Kumara is one of them, and on Jupiter it is the queens of Jupiter that rules over those civilizations that we do not really know yet. Venus is very advanced, more advanced even, although Jupiter rules over the galactic planes. They regulate the galactic plane, the 5th and 6th dimension, the 4th, 5th, 6th dimension. The Venusians are in the 9th dimension. There's 20 billion souls that live on Venus inside the planet. It's a beautiful place, and one day we'll be allowed to visit. And so I do believe that women will take more space in the political arenas in the future. For in galactic societies, everything is balanced. We are in there is 2 councils that are created usually to rule over the. Well, here we have this one council that's called the Council of 20 and 4 and 20. Which is eldest from the past history that are holding this council. So we'll have this special council that will assist us as well. But it's the councils of 9 and councils of 12. For in the councils of 9 establish all the policies, and the councils of 12 are the executive. They put it in action, and we'll be able to govern through group fluid dynamic. It's like we have a collective thoughts, and then we will be able to move the change through the collective of humanity. Because this golden age is promised to humanity, but only if they are willing to ascend their consciousness, to tune into the love, and to let go a little bit of all, not a little bit, but eventually of all the conflict and all the dramas and all those things, in order to participate more actively. And so, for in Exopolitik, when I speak about Exopolitik, it says, yeah, well, it's a bit personal, but in essence, we want to reconnect to our soul family, to our soul family, and guardian angel. For your guardian angel, if you're a man, your guardian angel will always come to you as in a feminine form, and if you're a woman, then you will come as a masculine form. And one day I've shared this story. It's like in 1992, I was living in Miami, and I was in contact with a friend of mine who's a channel, and I communicate with my guardian angels, my beloved shining star, and it's a very feminine entity. And after that, I was talking to a friend of mine. We were close. We're talking about. I trusted him and I shared the tape, the recording of the conversation, of the communication. And when he heard my communication with Shining Star, he said, "Well, that's the girlfriend you need. She's the one." And of course, your guardian angel would be perceived as the most ideal partner. There could be no more. But it's like, and in essence, it is an ideal partner that works with your inner guides, your spiritual essence and self. And so just so that I also spoke about the goddess Mat yesterday. Mat in ancient Egyptians means divine law, and this divine law is operating. It conditions all the experiences of time, and it is the infinite perfection as well. For if the law is infinite perfection, the law of cause and effect is the law of evolution is because God, the source of it, who created it, is infinitely perfect. But then those things will come to text. It can take a while to fully integrate those ideas. I'm just sharing point of view. Those are just point of view. I'm not. We all are here to express the highest wisdom we are able to do. For the card of the day is here and now, so it's about enjoying the here and now without projection. It's like when we're in the now, everything is fine. When we go in the past, we get depressed. When we go in the future, we get anxious. So it's like staying in the now. Well, I wanted to say also that love is the solution to all problems. For yesterday I was going in the streets, and there's those people that stop you from the street to ask for money for their organization, and I didn't really have time, but I talked to the guy a few minutes, and he was like, I said, no, love is the solution for all things. He said, no, money is, no, think about it. And slowly, after a little bit of discussion, he could accept the fact that if there was enough love, things would really change. Things would really be healed, and that's why we need to allow this Christ self to become closer to the Christ, to awaken this collective Christ, in order to bring this love into the world, and he will create a chain reaction. He will create an ascension. While at the same time, there's going to be, if we have to be prepared, that there may be, for instance, this more. On the Earth's situation, on the physical plane, this virus in China is already creating a slowing down of the economy there, and if it's first we want to thank the galactic, because if the galactic didn't use their power to diminish the potency of that weapon, they would he might have killed billions of people. So it's only unfortunately some people died, but they contained it and they contained like hundreds and hundreds of attack against the planet and humanity from the dark forces in the past few decades. And so we want to thank them. We wouldn't be here without them, to be honest. And so, but what I wanted to say is is that if it continues to disbalance this trading with China is such an important actor in the world stage. If the financial institution would weaken, it would weaken the whole system of the world. The economical system will be so disturbed that it will create a great deal of chaos. At which point it may be enough space from within this. For if something's working, we don't want to change. But if there is so much chaos that then there could be the possibility of reintroducing this gold standard system that we would realign, we would utilize this time to. So it's like, although it was created by the dark, the light may use it to transform the system in order to move into a system of abundance and to prepare for the golden age that will be coming, the first contact and the golden age. So those things are in the works. So what we have as resources right now is intuition and creativity. We have that, and it's like we can use them at any time. And we're using the inner guidance. The inner guidance can be applied on anything, on any level. It can be romantic, professional. You could even use it to play the stock market. It's like follow your inner guidance, and you'll see that more often than not you won't be disappointed. Yes, so I think I covered covered what I wanted to say today. I hope you find this message interesting. And I'm going to sing a song. This is part of a series of 64 painting on the I Ching. This one is called Retreat. It's about when the light retreats. In the summer, the light is at its apex, and then in the fall, when the light sees the winter's coming, it retreats. The life force within the vegetables, for example, retreat the life force within. And so it's like retreats, like the light is retreating, and it's like retreating. It's better to retreat than when it's time to retreat, we have to retreat. It's number 33 in the I Ching. And this is about Mona Lisa Superstar. It's a portrait. It's not quite finished, but it's about the Mona Lisa. It's the most famous woman in the world. Who doesn't know about the Mona Lisa, about the Giocondo? And she's every day there is thousands of people that flies from around the world to photograph her, to see her. She's just sitting in her chair looking in the Louvre, and it's like she's the most famous, she's the most sought after the woman that there is no I don't think anybody is being more photographed, and it's been going on. It's like this attraction will continue to this attraction to that. It's like superstar. It's like she's got a crown, and around it is the astrology of Leonardo da Vinci. He's got his planet really spread out around very well, except in Scorpio. He has nothing in Scorpio. And what's amazing is that we know his ascendant, because at this time to know the date, the exact hour of his birth was kind of rare. So it's good we know that. But it's this I saw it was a challenge. She may not be finished, but I already like her. She's still some little thing to work on. I'm going to sing a song very soon. Spirit says that music's going to become more important for me, more seriously. I'm going to go much more seriously about it, and I'm going to publish my book and write others. I'm going to pull 4 more cards, but I'm going to sing this song. It's a song, it was written by Prince and it was sung by Sinead O'Connor. A romantic song. It goes like this. It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant. But nothing, I said nothing can take away these blues. 'Cause nothing compares to you. It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? I put my arms around every girl I see, but they only remind me of you. I went to the doctor and guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, boy, you better try to have fun no matter what you do. But he's a fool, 'cause nothing compares to you. All the flowers that you planted, mama, in the backyard, all died and went away. I know that living with you, baby, was sometimes hard, but I'll try to give it a try. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Ah, great song. Reminds me of Los Angeles. Well, at the time in Los Angeles, I was living there, and all throughout the whole 80s, there was this great competition for dominion from those great author, composer and singer, which was Michael Jackson and Prince. Just as the Beatles and Rolling Stones were like, alter egos to each other. I love the music of Prince. And it's a beautiful song, I like it. So let's see what for the highest wisdom today is trust. Trust your creator. Trust your creator. Walk in the footstep of your higher self. What we need to understand is the healer. What do we need to do to complete the healing, to be completely healed? What we need to do is karma. It's to accept our condition, karmic condition, and to see exactly what we need to do. First, we need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive others. We need to forgive all the process, and then to access the love that is, and that will lead us to that direction. We'll find the direction, and the direction is love, light, forgiveness, empowerment, and to let go of the old, to trust God, and to put everything in His hand and turn towards the past, to what is possible. Well, I hope this was interesting for you. I thank you very much. I hope to return soon, and I wish you a good day. Namaste.